see. Okay. I don't know how to work this. All right, so if y'all just tuning in, I went and bought some wood today because I was at the store and I had an inclination when I saw this wood. I said, but this was a pack of, what's this? Premium white birch firewood. And then we got a pack of, I don't even know what type of wood this is. Kindling, mixed kiln, dried softwood, insect free. Oh, let's put this down here. Yeah, we got to talk about this because, man, I bought it, but I'm going to return it. But we got to talk about it. Yeah, we're going to talk about this right here. All right, so I stopped by the grocery store, and outside my local grocery store, they got wood. They got wood for sale. Stop and Shop. All right. So I picked the biggest pack. To be fair, I picked the biggest pack of wood. They had a few different bundles, a few different types of wood. I picked birch. And this pack right here, although it's a nice size pack of wood for in comparison to other people that sell wood, but this was $12.99. And what we got in here? So this is Grandpa Willie's premium white firewood. No, I'm not advertising or none of that because I'm actually making a case against buying it if you can source it yourself. And this is kiln dried, so it wasn't dried outside, but 100% natural. All right, that's marketing, of course. All right, premium. See, premium white birch. I mean, like, white birch is white birch, right? I don't know, but I paid $12.99 for that. And as you can see right here, I got all this wood out here. This is all hardwood. We're not doing no softwood out here. So it's in the way a little bit. But I want to do like a comparison of like what it would take for me to produce this same amount of wood right here, and what it would cost me to produce that instead of buying it. Or if you want to look at it from the perspective of, what if you wanted to sell wood? If you can source wood like this for free, and what would it take for you to sell it? And what could you fetch for it? What kind of price could you fetch for the wood that you sourced and broke down and dried or waited to dry yourself? So we're going to do like a side-by-side comparison. All right. I appreciate everybody that's tuning in, stopping by. All right. Yeah, we got some homework that we're doing here, and we got some comparisons because I stopped by my local grocery store, Stop and Shop, and I got the receipt. Matter of fact, I'm gonna show you, and we're gonna do a side-by-side comparison of sourcing wood yourself. All right, and we're gonna look at the receipt here. We got the receipt right here. Let's see, merchandise. Grandpa Willie's, the $12.99 right there. That Grandpa Willie's, that's the wood right there. All right, so I went and paid $12.99 for this. And this they got this at the grocery store. And like I said, I picked the biggest pack they had. So this is white birch. Premium is marketing. 100% natural. I mean, it's marketing. Come on. It's wood. It's wood. Stop playing. But I'm not mad at it because that might make somebody buy it. Like the red colors, the word premium, Grandpa Willie's, to make it seem like a brand that you can trust. All right. And then 100% natural. I mean, that's all marketing. Come on. I also picked up from the same store, this says, what's this? Ossipee Mountain Firewood, insect free. I mean, I would hope so. All right, mixed kiln dried softwood. So we got softwood here now. All right, let me make sure anybody got any comments right here. No bugs, maybe why it's premium. I'll pay to keep the critters outside. Okay, yeah, no, of course, I appreciate it. Yeah, no, we don't want the critters. I mean, that's a given. All right, but the point being is that if you haven't already seen what I've been up to, all that firewood right there, I sourced all that firewood right there for free. So we just kind of doing like a side-by-side comparison if you wanted to source your own wood or if you wanted to essentially turn this type of work into a business. So I paid $12.99 for this one, and the softwood right here. We got this softwood, a bag of softwood. So you kind of see what's in there. It's just a bag of square cut softwood. And what we pay for the softwood? The Ossipee softwood, $6.99. So I paid $6.99 for the softwood. I paid $12.99 for the hardwood. All right. And then I'll show you. I scored a nice little score at work today, and I got a bunch of wood that's essentially the same as what we got right here. So I was at work today, and look what we got right here. We got a bunch of wooden scraps, and I'm gonna get one. And I got a ton more. I got a ton more in the backyard. A ton. All right. Don't this look weirdly like this? Got this free stuff right here. This looks weirdly like this right here. They both softwood, probably pine mostly. So I'm sourcing this stuff right here, which essentially is going to be used for kindling, and I'm sourcing it for free. Sourcing this for free, sourcing the hardwood for free. And I got a ton of it. I brought a bunch of this stuff home. I wanted to make a point of it to show you about like being resourceful. Got a ton of this stuff. And my job pays to get rid of this stuff. So I'm like, you know what? I asked the question, popped the question on them. What y'all about to do with that? Can I take that home? I could do something with that. They said, man, please take it home. Please take it home. They begged me to take it home. And I got a ton more. My car is filled with this stuff right now. So I brought a bunch of this stuff home. Some of this stuff is thicker than the smaller pieces, but I only brought home the smaller pieces to just show you that these are essentially the same size. And I'm gonna bust this down, and I'm gonna bust it down to about the same size of these, and see how many of these does it take to make a bag like this. I'm like, oh man, this is all free kindling, all free stuff. It's not treated. And then we got this bag of hardwood for $12.99, and we're gonna kind of compare what it takes to bust up enough wood that's comparing it to this $12.99 bag right here. So I'm gonna give me a few logs, get the axe, get the bussing, and we're gonna see. Like, let's say you don't really have a lot of stuff to work with. You're working somewhat on a tight budget, and you're able to source the wood for free. Let's say, you don't have maybe necessarily the funds to buy a maul like I got right here. So we got the Fiskars maul, which makes quick work of a lot of logs. We got the 8-pound Fiskars maul here. Let me know what y'all think of a maul versus a split axe. Dumpster. Who said dumpster? For free is best. Just shake off the spiders. Okay. All right, but yeah, we got to get to it. I'm gonna split a few pieces of wood here. Let me pick some decent pieces, and we're gonna start with the maul. Might move this out my way a little bit. All right, we're gonna split a few pieces. Maybe pick something without knots in it. All right, and we're gonna kind of compare a side by side what it takes to make a batch of this hardwood right here like they did. Because I'm sure that was easy work. If they did something like I did, contact the local tree felling companies that they got to pay to get rid of the trees, and you call them up, local tree company. If you're ever around this area, you need a place to dump your hardwood. I got a good place for you to dump it. And guess what? I'm not even going to charge you. I'm going to do y'all that favor. All right. Let me get this another whack here. Busting this down. Oh, let me go get those pieces right there. Let me know what y'all think. Would y'all go through this? Would y'all source through these companies here? Contact your local tree felling company and let me know. Like I said, at the end of the day, at the end of my work day, I asked my job, I said, what y'all doing with all that all that wood over there. Can I take it home? Yes, sir. You can take that home. We're gonna stack this right here. Let's keep this separate from this right here, because we didn't just cut this. I cut that the other day. All right. And I got another. I'm gonna show y'all how to split stuff down with the what are these? I forgot what you call these. Little spikes here. Just what you call these? The wedge. The splitting wedges. All right. So I started off with the maul. You know, you can get a lot of stuff done with the maul for sure. All right. Okay. Let me know if anybody got any comments, questions before I move on.
Yes.
All right. You can set those shiny ones up like a border and use the circular saw and cut off like 10 at once. Yeah, that's an option. All right, so you got those bagged to see how many you need to sell when you make them, if it's worth it or not. Yes, that's exactly why I got it. I want to make sure to see if it's worth it or not. You're on something about to start a small business to a big one. Bro, good for you. Nice. You got the same mind as me. We would make good friends. No, that's not, yeah, for sure. What state do you live in? I live in New Jersey. So, all right. So I bust a little bit up with the maul here. We also got the Fisker's splitting axe here. Different from a chopping axe. This is about the 4 pound. I think it's a 4 pound. You see right there, 36 inch. The splitting axe right there. So we got Fisker's maul, 8 pound. We got a Fisker's splitting axe. It's about a 4 pound. And you can get a lot done with both. All right. Let's see. We find a fairly easy piece to get at. So I'm really only going to go through like one piece with each axe. So I really didn't come out here to do a lot of breaking up logs, but more or less just to show you, you know, you can do this. It's real simple. It's not too crazy. But if you're just doing this just to heat your home, nah, you can do it. You can do this. All right? It's real simple. That Fiskars is good. I mean, only thing, I'm not the biggest fan of this fiberglass handle. You know, it gives a lot of reverberation. But it cuts good, as you can see. So, we getting some pieces here. We got some nice chunks. All right. How close we getting? How close are we getting to this bag right here? All right, we getting about halfway there. All right, the next ones I'm gonna cut up with these wedges right here. The next one I'm gonna get with these wedges. But this right here is, I look at this like a lot of money, like I hit the jackpot. So I drive trucks for a living. I drive tractor trailer. If you ever seen like those long tractor trailers with the machine on the back, driving like a Spider or a Moffett attached to the back of the tractor trailer, that's what I drive during the day. And while I'm out on deliveries, I always got my eye out looking for felled trees. Like, damn, I wish I could pick that up right now. That was all dry and seasoned. And I see it all the time. I'm like, damn, I missed the opportunity, you know. But this opportunity I didn't miss. So this was good. But I always see people selling wood, and I look at the prices of people selling wood. And these areas where I'm in, they operate on the honor system. So they're like, all right, wood bundles, $5. Or the one I saw today, I saw it twice. 2 different people selling it $1 for each piece of wood. So one little split piece like this, somebody's $1, $1 for each one. That's what they selling it for. So I'm like, yo, damn, they breaking it down in a one piece? Oh, we got to get money. We got to get money. It's too easy. $1 for each piece of wood. I'm like, wow, that's what they doing? That's what they doing. Okay, I'm on it. I'm on it. All right, as you can see, this Fisker's splitting axe right here, this 4-pound, it gets right to work, gets busy. All right, we're almost there. We're almost at the same amount of wood that's in this bag of $12.99 bag of birch that they selling at the grocery store. About 2 blocks from my house. 2 blocks. And we're gonna see. We're gonna split some stuff with the wedges, and then we're gonna split some stuff. I got the axe over here. We're gonna split some with the axe, and we're gonna split some with some knives. I got some knives, and we're gonna baton some of them with the knives, and we're gonna split some wood like that too. So yeah, we're gonna get to it. But let me know. Would you source this and turn this into a business if you had the opportunity, if you had the option? That's what I plan on doing. So I'm heating the home for free, getting a wood burner stove this year, and also one of the reasons why I want to bust all the wood down, because I don't know if y'all can see it back here. I got my wood lined up in the logs, and I can just easily let them sit here for a year or 2 years or whatever and dry, and not have to do so much and wait till it's dry and then split it. But I don't want to do that. So I want to cut it now, and I want to start cutting them into even smaller pieces, because the smaller the pieces are, the quicker they dry. Now, a lot of this is oak, white oak, maple, all hardwoods, maybe some locust, some black locust, which is real good to burn. But yeah, no, I want to bust these into smaller pieces and get this dried a lot faster. I was Googling the other day, and it was saying oak, it takes 12 to 24 months for it to dry. Like, oh, that's a crazy wait right there. It said the maple, 6 to 12, it said like 12 months for about maple. And the black locust, it was saying maybe 6 to 12 months. So the black locust, because it doesn't have a lot of moisture to begin with, that dries the quickest. So I'm like, all right, how can I get this wood to dry even faster without having a kiln? I know I'm like, all right, I could maybe put it in my shed or in my basement, some of the stuff that I want to burn this year, and run the dehumidifier. Like, I already have a dehumidifier down there, but I got a second one that I don't have running that I could get up and running and just sucking all that moisture out the air. And maybe that'll work. That'll get some of this stuff dried even faster. But I'm like, all right, it makes more sense. All right, let's say we got one log, hypothetically speaking. We got one log. We cut it. This bark right here is like skin. This is a protectant for the tree, and it does not let out that moisture. You want this to dry, it only has 2 sides for it to dry from. This side and this side. Is that the most efficient way that you want to break down wood, wait for it to dry, and then chop it because you feel like it's easier? Hold on, got something now. Because you feel like it's easier to chop when it's dry. I'm like, all right, I don't think so, because it's going to take a long time for all that moisture to get up out this all the way to the center and get down to maybe like a 20% moisture, with it only being able to leach out from the sides like that. So I'm like, all right, we break this up, and let's say we get about 4 or 5 pieces from that, right? So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We cut up a log. We got 5 pieces, because I only cut up 2 logs, and we got 5 more on the ground. So by process of elimination, we got 5 right here. So we got 10 pieces out of 2 logs. All right. So instead of just the one side, which we had, the top and bottom that you could dry from, top and bottom, now we have this side, this side, this side. We've got 4 sides right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That this wood is starting to dry from. That same piece, we drop that down, because we got to do the math like this. 6, we got 7, 8, 9. Now the skin is on that side. We take the bark off, we'll count that as 9. But since the bark is not on, we'll say 8, 9, 10. That's 10 pieces that same piece of wood is still drying from. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Like I said, I'm not counting this because the bark is still on. Once I take the bark off, we got another place for it to dry from. 19, 20, 21, 22. So that's 22 places that that one piece of log could be drying from instead of just the top and the bottom. So what makes more sense for you to dry your wood a lot quicker and get to being able to heat your home a lot quicker and get to making money if you want to turn this into a business and making that money a lot quicker? Because a lot of people that sell wood, they run out of wood quick. If they're selling it by the cord, they're running out of wood and customers are needing that product. And then now you become an unreliable business operator, and we don't want that. Has anybody got any comments? Let's see. What we talking about? All right. Save all the money. All right. I like your energy. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Keep it going. All right. We got a lot of comment. Yep, that works. I'm in. Oh, okay. All right. Let's keep the comments coming. I'm gonna go through the comments in a little bit. We're gonna make sure we stay on track. I don't want to hold anybody up. We want to keep this program going. All right. So now I'm going to move on to the wedges. How efficient are the wedges? Let's say you're somebody, you don't have an axe, or you want to see what takes the least amount of effort, so to speak. Let's say you're a woman, or you're somebody who you don't really have the physical ability or want, or you're not sure about swinging your axe, and you want something that's a little bit more for the layman, or a little bit more dumbed down. You don't want to hurt yourself, whatever the case may be. And you're like, okay, putting a wedge into a log, you can do that. That's reasonable. Swinging an axe is dangerous, and I don't know what I'm doing. Let's just say you're that person. All right, so we're gonna get a piece of wood. We're gonna get a log right here, preferably one that doesn't have a ton of knots in it, just for example purposes. All right, and this is a decent sized log right here. This is probably one along the lines of like one of those 16-inch logs. Let's compare this right here to this log right here. Yeah, this piece of wood that I have on the ground, this log, is probably about 3 or 4 more inches longer than this birch that I bought from the store for $12.99. Again, I might add. I'm returning that, just in case you didn't know. I kept the receipt. This softwood was $6.99. This was $12.99. I'm keeping the receipt. I'm returning that. Imagine if I open this up, take out the dry wood, and put in the hardwood, then return it. I ain't doing that. And I advise you not to do it. You don't want to be sitting up in somebody's jail cell. But that is a funny. All right. So we got the wedge. So first wedge we got is an east swing wedge, and I got an east swing hammer. All right. Okay. Get the tire, bro. Will help any situation, man or woman. So I've seen people do the tire. Matter of fact, I just watched a video again earlier today, seen somebody with the tire. The tire works, but the tire doesn't work for every piece of wood. Let's say I got the tire and it fits this wood right here. Let's just say. All right. But what happens when I got this piece of wood? The tire, this starts flying places. It doesn't contain everything. What happens if the tire fits for this one, but then I got one of those 30, 32-inch, 40-inch logs up right there? It doesn't work. It doesn't fit. So a tire, I think it's more of an inconvenience than anything overall. Like, it'll help a little bit, but it's not worth it. I'd rather just get to it. All right, so we got the east wing mallet right here. It's a 3-pound mallet, and then I don't know how many pounds this one is, but we got the wedge right here, east wing wedge. We're gonna see how efficient is getting through a log with a wedge versus an axe. And this is soft. I mean, this is wet wood, green wood. Now, ideally, you'll come over here with the sledgehammer, and on the back of this Fiskars wedge, the Fiskars maul right here, we do have a sledgehammer on the back, so I can swing that and wield that. But want to see. Let's see what we do with this right here. The 3-pound mallet with the wedge. Okay, there we go. We got through it. So for the average person, I don't know if the average person is going to be able to swing an axe well enough and accurate enough to make the axe worth it. If you're using wooden handle axes, you might run through a few axes or a few axe handles because you're not swinging it properly, you're not swinging it accurately, you're not swinging it efficiently, that it makes it like, okay, this is not worth it. You know, this is more than I bargained for. But you get a wedge, and right here, this is not going to break. That wedge is not going to break. Only thing I think that might break is maybe your finger if you miss. So don't miss. But you see, the wedge just busts that down. There we go. All right. Which one would you rather use? Let's pretend like, you know, you're not the most experienced or seasoned log chopper. Somebody might prefer using the wedge. That's an option. All right. And we're still a little bit closer to getting to what's in this bag here. So we're on the third log right now. We're on the third log. So this might be I'm guessing 2 to 3 logs. Let me count them up in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. There's 14 pieces in here, and they're all not big pieces. So we got some smaller pieces in there, and we could bust some of these down into some smaller pieces, but we're about at what's in this bag. I surmise that this is about 2 healthy sized logs. Let's count these up right here. So we're at a log and a half right now, a log and a quarter. We only got a piece off of this one. We're at a log and a quarter. Is this about the same as what's right here? I think so. I think so. What y'all think? This might be a little bit more than what's in that bag. But let's just say, for conversation purposes, we're about the same as what's in this bag. This Grandpa Willie's premium birch, whatever. But we got this hardwood right here. We got this hardwood right here. This ain't take me much to bust down. They charging $12.99 for that. Oh no, I'm about to get to it. I'm about to get to it. I'm about to get to it. Might bust this in half. $5 bundle. 2 for 10. You know, what y'all think? Let's see what we talking about. All right. Jose Emmanuel, what's going on? Also rubber, I think you mean rubber straps. You can check your local windfall harvest regulations. Windfall harvest. Are you talking about like trees that naturally fall in certain places? Because if so, I think about that. A lot of times I see people that have trees that fell in their yard and just sitting there. I see parks or certain areas that I'm unsure whether it's private property, somebody's property, and I just don't know. So yeah, it's good to check your local laws, regulations, or whatever the case may be to see if you can go and harvest some felled trees. And a lot of that might be seasoned wood. I see a lot. I'm driving around all day in my tractor trailer on the way, you know, to deliveries in some mountainous areas, but it's nice areas. A lot of farmland, and I see it all the time. People clearing out land because whether they just bought the property, they're trying to do farm stuff, they're trying to grow corn, and they want all these trees out of there. They're redoing the land for whatever the case may be. You know, they're developing land. I don't know. And I see a lot of felled trees, and I see a lot of that stuff over time is getting seasoned. You can see it, just the grayness in the wood getting seasoned. Not too rotted, but seasoned. And it's like, oh man, that's good. That's good wood that you could go harvest. We could be using it to heat our homes down the drain. All right, but we got the Husky wedge now, and these could use a bit of sharpening. These are real blunt. I think this will go a lot smoother if I sharpen them, which I will. I'm going to sharpen this one. Let's see. These are both stock. So stock, the Husky wedge. Let's see. We're going to look close. The Husky wedge versus the East Wing wedge. The East Wing comes a lot sharper. You might not be able to see it on film, but the East Wing comes a lot sharper. That Husky is a lot more blunt. They both work and technically get the job done, but that East Wing is a little bit better, and it's worth sharpening. So if you could just sharpen these down, keep these real sharp, yeah, they'll get to it. They will get to it. Now, if you're using just more of like a hand mallet, you might want to go with the 4-pound. Right here, this is the 3-pound East Wing, which is decent. I put in a lot of work with this thing. You see, putting a lot of work with this thing. We got the 3-pound East Wing mallet there. So I just did the East Wing wedge right there. Now we're using the Husky wedge. We're gonna see. It's blunt. It is what it is, but we're gonna see. Just getting a little start off. And it's good if you can to try to line it up. If you see any splits in the wood, like towards the center or whatever, try to go with the splits, not against them. But it is what it is with this piece. I don't see too much splits right here, so we're just gonna get to work. Yeah, this one's taking a bit. I ain't get a good enough bite in there.
Safety glasses.
You're right. Safety glasses. Where they at? You're absolutely right. Do I got them on me? Safety glasses. You are absolutely. Whoever said that, I appreciate it. You're right. And already, I could tell the difference. That East Wing, I think, would have ate through this already. Yeah, that Husky. Already no to the Husky, man. This thing ain't doing it. It's in there. It's in there. It's definitely in there, but because it's so blunt, it don't want to get through. Now, granted, I'm not banging the hardest. I'm putting in work, but I'm not like swinging willy-nilly. But that East Wing, it had a good enough point on it that it was just slowly eating in there. So it's good to have a good point on it. I think we slowly getting somewhere, but man, I should have been through there already. Hell no, this ain't worth it. Hell no. No, this one ain't worth it. I don't know. No, don't get the Husky, man. Don't get the Husky. It's in there so far, but that wedge is, man, that damn point is too damn blunted. No, I'm gonna put this back in the car. It's too blunted. No to the Husky. I gotta put a good point on there. That point is not good enough. But let me know what y'all think. I was at the job today and sourced a bunch of this free wood. Now we're gonna burn a lot of this free wood, and I burned some the other day. If y'all seen the video where I did the frying the catfish outside, a lot of that kindling I got for free. A lot of that kindling I got it for free, sourcing it from the job, and I got maybe about 5 times as much right now in my car still. All this free kindling, and I'm definitely I'm gonna burn this, whether outside or in the house, when I get my wood burning stove. But we definitely gonna do a lot of maybe catch and cooks, even if I'm just cooking outside, because I don't want to use up electricity in the house. I got an electric stove. I got gas in the house, but I got an electric stove. But sometimes I just want that flame to get to it. All right, so I'm done with that Husky wedge. The Husky wedge is trash. Gosh. All right, let's move on to the next experiment here. If we're gonna call it an experiment, let's see. I got a whole gang of knives right here. We're gonna split with the knife and the baton. Let me know what y'all think about splitting with the knife and the baton. If you're out there in the wilderness, all right, use a maul, dude. Yeah, no, for sure, I got a maul. I could bust this down with the maul, but the point was to see if somebody was not comfortable with using a maul, could you use a wedge to get through this and bust up your wood? You know, whether you're not burning so much, you know, you only burn it when you come home. All right, you gotta practice your aim, buddy. You're right. I never use the maul with the wedge. I never do that. So yeah, I'm not seasoned with that. It's not the wedge's fault. No. You're wrong. Hold on. Who said that? Who said it's not the wedge's fault? Who said that? Jorge Ramirez. Yes. Jorge Ramirez. Yes, you are right. I do need to practice my aim with the maul, but only this side right here with hitting a wedge. Hitting a wedge with the maul is not something I do. I usually hit my logs with the maul if I'm just using the sharp side. I don't usually hit it with this side. That's, you know, that husky wedge, that's not my thing. That's my first time ever trying to hit it with that side. That's what I usually do with the maul. I don't have a problem aiming with the maul. It's not that, my guy. It's that dumbass husky wedge. I'm blaming the wedge. That wedge is not sharp. That's the problem with it. So I'm going to really sharpen that down, reprofile the edge, and then I'm going to come outside and probably do it again. But for right now, both the E-swing will still get through stuff. The E-swing wedge still gets through stuff, but it could use some sharpening. That husky, no go. No go. We're not doing that. All right, so I'm going to put the maul to the side. All right, let's see. What we talking about? All right. So now we're moving on to the baton and the knife. I got a gang of knives here. Let me know. Can y'all see the knives? I don't know if y'all can see the knives right there. Yeah, you can kind of see them. So I do a lot of knife throwing. I don't know if anybody hasn't seen my content. I do a lot of knife throwing, a lot of shorts, knife throwing, a little bit of axe throwing, bow shooting, compound bow, traditional bow, recurve bow, long bow, blow darts, all that good stuff, all that fun stuff. I got a bunch of knives here, and we're gonna go through. Let me see. I'm looking for one in particular, but we'll go through a bunch of them. It don't matter. But I say you're out there in the woods and you want to baton through some wood because you want to bust it up and you want to make some kindling. You want to chop it up. You want some smaller pieces for a fire. You want to make some shavings. You want to make some pieces like this right here. Let's see. All right, let's get a log here. How efficient is getting through a log with a knife and a baton? I don't know. Let's do it. Let's see. And this is just an experiment. I know this is green wood, but let's see. The knife gets through the wood way easier than that husky wedge. So I would advise, as of right now, if you're scared of using the axe, go with a nice size hunting knife and a wooden branch like that as a baton. All right, that's a safe bet. All right, this is good to use in the woods. This right here, what we got? This is the cold steel perfect balance right here. The cold steel perfect balance just ate through that log right there. So this one's a winner. Cold steel perfect balance. We're gonna go through. We're gonna go through a gambit of knives here. What we got? All right, next one up. We got a gladius knife right here. Next one up, gladius. And I throw these knives. All right, let's see. There you go, man. I wish I could post pictures. I got some old school wedges from the 80s, bro. They're dull, beat to hell, but they still split logs. Let's see. All right, that's a nice blade. Yep. The perfect balance is a nice blade. I appreciate everybody's comments too. Let's comment on it. You know, what's right, what's wrong, what would you do, what would you not do, what's your preference and such, so everybody can learn from someone else. Each one teach one. So now we got this. I got this one on Amazon. It's called the Gladius knife. I did a lot of throwing with this knife, and I throw big knives, small knives, medium-sized knives. I throw all types of knives, and I keep an EDC on me every day, everywhere I go. So some EDC of the day, something small. It's my EDC for the day. I always keep an EDC on me at all times. But that's the small one for the day. All right, let's see how this Gladius knife gets through it. And we baton and stuff right here. Again, if y'all haven't seen my content, go to my shorts. I'm doing all type of knife throwing, all types of it. No spin, rotational spin, but no spin is my thing. Just making that blade fly straight. That's my thing. Gladius gets right through it, busting this down. Gladius gets it done. All right. So the Gladius, that's the winner right now. At least on the getting through wood. As far as like a quality knife, I definitely done had to reprofile the thing. I definitely done bent the tip a few times, throwing it into certain targets, throwing it into other knives, which I don't recommend throwing knives into other knives. But let's move some stuff out the way. Now I done broke a few knives here, so they're all not great. All right, next one up. I forgot the company. I think it's SV, something like that. But this is a solid knife right here. This is a solid one right here. All right, I know this one's gonna get through it. This one's a real solid knife. I ain't never put no dents, nicks, hardly any scratches or anything on this thing. All right, and a lot of these knives I got through Amazon. I don't remember the company name on this one. I think it's SB, something like that. But they don't have no brand or insignia on it. But I throw this too. But let's get it. Let's see what this does. Right through it. Got the job done. Got the job done. Do these knives make shavings? So you can make some shavings with these. Get that fire going. Look at that. Look at that. Nice ribboning right there. Okay. So we made some shavings with this. And we got some nice ribboning right here. Nice. Let's get the likes up for sure. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already subscribed. I'm out here all the time getting to it. All right. So before I get to more knives, let's get this axe out the way. All right. Let's see what we got. And it's a cheap axe right here. I do throwing with this axe. I beat this thing up. So American hickory handle. This one, you get this at your local, maybe like a Walmart or something. Ozark Trail, get it online. Ozark Trail, hickory handle. How does this get through the wood? How does this get through the wood? All right. Let's pick another good piece right here. All right. Let's see. We're gonna use where's our baton at? Oh, right there. We're gonna get our baton. What's the axe do? The axe gets right through it. No problem. We should have expected that. We should have expected that one. What we got next? We got the F and Grow. Anybody know about F and Grow knives? One of my favorites I like to throw. We got an F and Grow hunting knife right here. This one is F and Grow 151. I got videos throwing this one. F and Grow 151 for sure. And this thing comes razor sharp. So let's see how the F and Grow 151 gets. Let's get to it. Pick a nice piece. All right. We just busting down some firewood. All right, let's get it. F and Grow 151. Yep. No problem. No problem. Got some good lumber right there. That's going to dry pretty quick. Again, that was the F and Grow 151. Let me know. Y'all got any questions? Put in the chat. If you do, I don't know how many more knives I want to sit here and be out here cutting through the wood with, but I think y'all kind of get the point though. Y'all get the point. All right, so now we got this other bag with the softwood. So y'all get the point with the hardwood. You can do this, whether you're hitting it with a regular splitting axe, like we got back here. So whether you're hitting it with a regular splitting axe, right here, fit like this, the Fisker's 4-pound axe right here, this thing should last you a lifetime. All right, and you busting down wood. You saw me bust down a whole log with the Fisker's 4-pound axe. Whether you got something like this, you got a maul, you got this the Fisker's 8-pound maul. Whether you got a maul, you got those harder pieces of wood, those bigger stumps, you can do it. You ain't gotta buy this. You ain't gotta buy this. You ain't gotta spend that $12.99 and then burn the wood and go back and spend that $12.99 and then burn that and then go buy another one for $12.99. You ain't gotta do that. Source it yourself, bust it down. If you're afraid of busting it down with the axes yourself, go get you a wedge. Get you a wedge, sharpen it, and then get to work. Get to work. All right? So we're gonna put the hardwood to the side, and now we're gonna focus on that softwood. All right? And like I said, if you're just tuning in or you weren't here, I got a bunch of this softwood right here, and this is scraps. These scraps come on a lot of dry van trucks, so like the tractor trailers, like that look like a box in the back, the long tractor trailers. So I work at a place that gets a lot of deliveries, and when the deliveries come in, they got a bunch of this scrap wood that they use to like separate certain things. And I said, you know what? They throw it to the side to be put in the dumpster. I'm like, no, they're just sitting on the ground. No. I'm looking at them like, okay, I could be using that for firewood, whether outside or in the house. But now I go to the store and I see this bullshit. I ain't never seen this before. This is my first time seeing this. Cutting squares like that. $6.99. I'm like, yo, we got these at the job. $6.99? I got these at the job. What do you mean? Oh, nah. I'm about to have a field day with this. Nah, we about to burn a lot of free stuff. Cooking a lot of meals, a lot of bacon, egg, and cheese on the weekends. Getting to it. All right, so what am I going to actually use to cut this up? I'm going to get my nippers. So I got nippers that I'm going to use to cut this up. So we're going to make quicker work of the softwood. Watch this. Hold up. Let me grab my nippers right here. We're going to make quicker work of this. And it's all about being resourceful. You know, you see something, you know, what a lot of people saw as trash. I looked at it and said, no, that's not trash. That's actually a fuel source. And if y'all pay attention to like geopolitical issues and what's going on in the world, you have you have countries threatening other countries with blowing up their energy sources, their energy infrastructure. So what happens if something happens to your energy source for your home that you just rely on and not even thinking about it? You go to work, come home, and relax. Go to work, come home, relax. You're not necessarily thinking about the what ifs. What if somebody, maybe not necessarily attacks our energy infrastructure, but hacks our energy infrastructure and we can't use it? It shuts down for however long. What you gonna do? Are you prepared? You might not be. It's a good chance you are not prepared. So, with that being said, this is an energy source. This is a fuel source. All this wood behind me is a fuel source. If you ain't got access to burning coal or, you know, oil or whatever the case may be, and you don't have the electricity grid is down, whatever the case may be, you don't have access to fuel, you're shit out of luck. You're in trouble. So don't wait until you don't have to go looking for it. Get it now. source it while it's available. Source it while everybody else isn't looking for it. So we're gonna just get some rough cuts right here. I'm not necessarily measuring it, but I'm gonna bust it down like sort of like how they did in the grocery store. Bang. Look how easy that was. Look at this. Don't this look like this right here? That looks weirdly like that right there. Same stuff. Same stuff. Come on now. Come on now. I'm not tripping. Come on. Let's talk about it. And all we have, and again, Fiskars. Y'all see I like Fiskars. We got Fiskars nippers right here. That's what we're using. We just using a pair of nippers. This is not hard. You don't need an axe. You don't need a hammer. You don't need a maul. You don't need none of that. This is scrap wood. This was going in the trash. The company I work for was going to pay to get rid of it. They're throwing this in the big dumpster, and the dumpster company comes at least once a week. Bang. That burns hot too. Because it's dry, that soft wood, that burns quick and it burns hot. Light work. That's light work. You know how I look at this too? I look at this like a tip. I went to work, worked hard. I already feel like I ain't never gonna be paid what I should be paid, which is okay. I'm gonna make my own. But I feel like this is my tip for the day. When I can bring home a gang of wood, that's my tip for the day. That's how I look at it. That's how I frame it in my mind. You know what? Today was really worth it because I got so much free wood and stuff that I don't have to buy this stuff, or I ain't got to put as much work in to source the wood that I would be needing for my kindling. You know, this will start a fire real quick. Actually, maybe this weekend, maybe I think Saturday and Sunday morning, I'm gonna come out and cook some food, whether it be in the morning or the evening, either cook breakfast or dinner. Maybe I'll do one of each. But yeah, I'm gonna burn this wood and we're gonna cook. Bring out that cast iron or stainless steel and we're gonna cook with it. This stuff burns good. Again, free. Sourcing free stuff. Being resourceful. One person's trash is another person's treasure. It's all about how you look at things. Your perspective. What's your perspective like? Would you rather wait until you need something to go looking for it, or be prepared? How prepared are you? Again, those geopolitical issues. What they say, not to get too political, but I was watching the news today and we got a threat. President Trump said 8 p.m. By 8 p.m., y'all make a deal or we're attacking bridges and some type of energy infrastructure. What if that was us? What if that was another country threatening us? Your energy infrastructure will be attacked. Make a deal. Make a deal or else. And if somebody follows through on it, say, whether it be attackers or hackers, you want to be prepared. You fix the problem on the back end, but in the meantime, the show don't stop. You got kids still need to eat. Wife and kids still need to eat. All this took was a couple cuts with the nippers. Light work. And you might be able to hear that. Can you hear how dry that is? That's dry. Dry, free stuff right there. What we talking about? Where y'all get all that firewood from? Man, local tree company. Yup, local tree company. I said, look, y'all cutting down those trees. How much y'all pay to get rid of that? He ain't want to say, but he said, well, I said, how far you gotta go? He said, they gotta take an hour to get rid of all this right here. And this was 3 loads. So they would have had to drive an hour, pay to get rid of it, drive an hour back, fill it back up again, drive an hour, go dump it, drive back again, drive an hour, pay to dump it, and they would have to go through all that. I said, I'm gonna save y'all the trip, I'm gonna save y'all the gas, I'm gonna save y'all the headache, I'm gonna save y'all the labor and time of busting all this down into mulch and paying to get rid of it, and you can just dump it at my house raw like that. That's how we're gonna do this, and that's how it happened. All right, that make a tool called fro. Yeah, I know about the fro. That's like a scythe. Yeah, I seen that one. It's like a scythe that you could bang down, like sort of like what I was doing with the knives. I know about the fro. Meant for making shingles, but does a great job on kindling. Yep, I know about it. You need your muscles. Eh, what you talking about? With this? You talking about the muscles for this? This is light work. Anybody could do this. I mean, I don't know what you're referring to about the muscles, but this right here, this is easy. That's easy. I don't know if you're talking about this. This is way easier than hitting them with the axe or any of that. This is like clockwork. You don't need much. My kids could do this. No, you ain't talking about muscles for this one. It's a little bit. It's a little bit. Everybody should be able to do this. I mean, I have muscles, but I don't really need them. I don't need a whole lot for this. All that free kindling right there. All that free. Oh, no. Yep, one more. Bust it down. Light work. I ain't get a good bite on that one because of the way it was positioned, but yeah, it's light work. Off the free 99. That's my tip for the day at work. At least that's how I take it. We got our, and I'm trying to make enough to where it's like what's in here. That's really what I'm doing. Just trying to equal amount to what's right there. And I got this for free too. So we already made our $12.99 worth for what I paid for that at the grocery store. Now we're gonna make our $6.99 worth too. That's what we're doing. Well, we need another piece. Well, we're on our third piece of free 99. A little bit of elbow grease goes a long way. Just a little bit. Let me see if he responded about that muscle business. What we talking about, muscles? No, he ain't respond yet? What we talking about, muscles? And I got the receipt. So, need some leverage. I'm going to return these two. I got the receipt. I'm going to return them. But it's easy to bust through this. Free kindling. And this what really kept my fire going. So I did I cooked on film. I cooked on a live. What was that? Sunday? I cooked some catfish, some fried catfish on Sunday. I put the live up. It's posted. So I did some fried catfish in my wood burning stove that's outside. And it's an old wood burning stove that came with the house. It's kind of rusted out and stuff, but I still cooking it outside just to keep the fire contained. So that's what that's about. But you can go watch, and we're gonna do some catch and cooks. Might cook some catch some squirrels, some rabbits. I haven't cooked groundhog yet, but I cook squirrel, I cook rabbit. And yeah, I mean, there be deer in the backyard, but I'm not killing no deer in my backyard. We're not doing that. I ain't going to jail for that one. Nope. It ain't deer season. I'm not on hunting land, but there be deer in my backyard all the time. Groundhogs, fox, deer. I mean, granted, it's my property, but no, I'm not gonna risk that one. Plus, the deer ain't harming nothing back there, and it ain't come to desperate measures. If it ever came to where, like, the grocery stores are wiped out, people are panic buying and stuff like that, and it is what it is, then I'm taking something down. I'll bring out the compound bow, or something heavier than a compound bow, something more dangerous than a compound bow, and we'll get to it. But until then, I'll let the deer live, let the deer be. Kind of stay civilized a bit. Now we're getting close to what's right here. We're getting close there. We're getting close to it. Maybe about one or two more, and we right there. All right. Let me know what type of content y'all want to see, man, because we definitely want to do some more Swedish fire logs here. It's the one I made yesterday, that Swedish fire log, and I'm gonna do another one because you could do the Swedish fire log a different way, like putting the chainsaw. So I could take the chainsaw, and it's the Husky 455 Rancher right here. Just bought this on Saturday. But you can take the chainsaw and hit this all the way down. I would elevate it so we're not hitting the ground, but take the chainsaw, go all the way down, yeah, cross like this, yeah, go all the way down, all the way to the middle. And then you go hit the corner, yeah, hit the other corner, yeah. And then you can make a Swedish log stove like that too. But I seen they got a store around here. I might pick one of those up just for video purposes and show y'all the difference. But they got stores that sell those too. I don't know what they sell them for, but we're gonna make some Swedish log stoves for the free, and we're gonna cook on them. All right, bring out the stainless steel, the cast iron, maybe throw some rocks up here, some pebbles or whatever, something that's not flammable, and we're gonna get busy. What would y'all cook in it? Busting this down for the free 99. We're gonna cook some good stuff with this. Let me know. What type y'all want to see more of this type of content? Busting down the wood, talking about the chainsaws, the axes, the mauls, the splitting wedges. Y'all want to see more knife throwing, bow shooting? I do it all. A lot of stuff don't get filmed, but we're gonna start filming it. We're gonna start getting to it because, again, like I said, with these geopolitical issues going on, you want to have these type of survival skills. You're not trying to learn them on the fly. You want to be somebody that's capable, you know? When stuff start happening, you want to be a source of, like, can do. Like my husband he's a doer. He's going to get it done. You don't want your family worrying like, oh no, we got a loser. What are we going to do? Then panic sets in. First hunger, then panic. You know? Be a doer. Somebody who can do. Don't be the loser. So, even if you don't want to, even if you feel like you make enough money, but if it comes down to, like I said, the panic buying and stuff like that, you know, and it comes down to haves and have-nots and, you know, people that know how to be resourceful, I'm one of those people. Be one of those people. All right? I got maybe like 20-something fruit trees in my backyard, just a small part of my backyard. I still didn't even expand to the back. I got about 20 fruit trees over here. All right, I put like maybe about 15 of those in last year. Had some in the year before. And I got maybe like 12 fruit trees in the front yard, you know, right next to the road, as the example for my neighborhood, as the example of y'all can do it too. You know, food, not lawn. That's my thing. Food, not grass. You know, I'm a big proponent of growing food, not grass, because, you know, grass ain't gonna put food in your stomach. Grass ain't doing nothing but taking your time, money, effort. It looks nice, it's cool, it looks nice. You know, it's curb appeal, but what's it really do for you? It takes away from you. You know, it takes time, effort to cut that, or you're paying somebody else to do it, which is taking away from your resources. So I'm more of a proponent. I got rid of most of my grass on the property, and we're growing fruit trees, vegetables, you know, all types of trees, fruit bushes, blueberries, raspberries, all types of stuff, man. What we talking about? All right. Tayfer Erkin says, hi, what's going on? All right, what's up? All right, what do you use for an emergency stove? I'm good. I got a rocket stove in my shed back there. Y'all see that? Y'all see that shed back there? I got a metal rocket stove in there, but also I'm making Swedish log stoves over here. And I have outdoor wood burning stove, so I can always cook outside. That's always an option. I always keep dry wood for cooking outside. So when I cooked outside Saturday, it rained all day. So ideally, or not ideally, but for the typical person that's trying to cook outside and you go searching for dry wood, you're not gonna find none. But I keep dry wood, and I came outside and cooked right after it finished raining. So I don't mind cooking outside. I don't care if it's cold, it's hot, whatever. I'll cook outside. It don't matter. As long as you keep dry wood, you can cook. So it is what it is. All right, but I'm getting a wood burning stove for in the house. So I got a fireplace. I don't really use a fireplace. All right, I got an electric stove, but if electricity goes out, what am I gonna do then? So I have a metal rocket stove, which I'm going to dig that out. I'm going to put that on a different video, maybe tomorrow. But I got a metal rocket stove, which I really don't like that one. I'm not the biggest fan of that one because it's just not the most efficient rocket stove. It's marketed on Amazon as a rocket stove. It's solid. It works. It just doesn't work like a real rocket stove, how you see advertised in some of these advertisements, or how some of the people have them, they make videos on them on YouTube. Mine didn't work like that. Maybe I got the wrong version, but mine didn't work like that. I put all the dry stuff in there. It burned clean. It just didn't burn like a rocket. And I didn't hear it. I listened for it. I listened for the shh. I didn't hear none of that. And the flame was regular. It got the food done, but it didn't even make enough of a good enough flame for me to fry something. What I was frying that day? I might have been frying chicken. Oh, I did the Chinese style fried chicken. That's what I did that day. Seasoned it, marinated, just how they do at the Chinese food store, but I did it at home, and it tasted just like the Chinese food store fried chicken. I know the recipe. I know the secret. I know how to do it. I know how to do it. So I ain't bought Chinese fried chicken since. Don't plan on it. But yeah, we bust through this. We made about the same amount of kindling that's in this bag right here. Y'all see it? About the same amount right there. All right. So our experiment, you see that right there? Y'all can see that. Made about the same amount of kindling right there as what's in that bag. It's about that $6.99 worth. And I got it for the free 99. And I was only about maybe 4 sticks. This is 4 sticks of that free stuff that they were throwing away. They're garbage. It wasn't in a dumpster, it just came off a truck. But I brought it home, dry wood, and we're gonna do a lot of cooking with this stuff. So I'm just saying, source it yourself, be resourceful. All right, know how to source your own fuel in case you know how to keep shelter, fuel. Come on now, be resourceful. All right, it's looking crazy out here in the world. You know, like I said, President Trump, he set that 8 p.m. deadline. He said all bridges and energy infrastructure is gone, back to the Stone Age. All right, press that like button. Yes, thanks. He said, if you don't make a deal, it's back to the Stone Age for y'all. Oh no, that's scary. That's scary. And the latest thing, if y'all ain't see, they putting a human shield around their bridges and energy buildings and infrastructure right now. Y'all ain't see that? I watched the news after print because I see it's all over the news. Trump said, blast them back to the Stone Age. If they don't make a deal, blast them back to the Stone Age. I said, oh, he's a wild boy. And the last thing I just watched the news, I see the people out there, they making a human shield and flags and everything around the bridges and energy infrastructure. It's like, if you're gonna blast them back to the Stone Age, you're gonna have to take everybody with them. All women and children out there. It's crazy. It's crazy times. It's just crazy times. My thing is, I'm like, all right, he making threats against their energy infrastructure. I'm getting prepared. I'm getting prepared. My cabinets are full. I ain't got no more room. I got 2 freezers, deep freezer and everything. I have no more room. So much dry goods, canned goods. I got no room for anything. But I got a lot of food I could cook. If the energy or power grid goes down, if it gets hacked, I'm good. So I got a backup generator back there. They got that big ass generator. We got that. But let's just say something happens with that. We got so much fuel, it's crazy. So much wood is crazy. Keep some fuel. Keep some fuel. Keep some flashlights. Keep a way to make fire. Keep protection. You know, you might have, but can you protect what you have so somebody don't come and take it? You know, you never know. You know, if you're living in a highly civilized society, you may not know what it's like to be threatened or have to go through some of the stuff that people are going through in other countries. So, you know, it's good to look at that stuff for perspective and prepare yourself for the unknown. So that's what I'm doing here. This is like a lot of this preparation for the unknown. And once home base is good, once I have enough firewood for 5 years plus, once home base is good, then I'm gonna be busting down this firewood for selling it. So I'm taking care of home base first, and then I'm moving on and I'm being a resource for other people. So I'm putting in time, energy, and effort into this, so it is for sale. It's whether it be a bartering chip in tumultuous times or just a business in great times. So it is what it is. You know, how are you preparing for if shit hits the fan? What are you doing? Let me know. I want to hear it in the comments. What are you doing? How are you prepared? You know, do you have a wood burner stove at home? You know, what type of stuff so that we and other people can learn from? What do you have that we can learn from? All right, we got all this wood here. I'm done busting up wood for the night, but I just wanted to show this for perspective because even this stuff right here, if shit hits the fan, people gonna be out there panic buying all this stuff. All this stuff gonna be gone. Even stuff that's sold at a premium like this. When they start breaking it down into smaller quantities, the higher the price goes. So you can buy it by the cord, which is like a massive amount of cut firewood and seasoned firewood, which if you, for people that have wood burner stoves, you already know what that's about. You already know what how much a cord is. But people that buy it by the cord, which is bigger quantities, they get it for the cheap, and they may be prepared for this. So buy your cords or source your cords yourself, bust it down yourself, and have it stored. All right, but for the other people that aren't prepared and they're penny pinch or just buying little by little, all right, you're gonna be out there panic buying this stuff when shit hits the fan. You know, how we gonna eat? How we gonna eat? You know, you don't want to be over your fire pit trying to cook a steak. You know, you want to be prepared and have the right stuff for the right situation. That's what I'm doing. You know, how are you being prepared? So that's what this is essentially about. I'm out here getting to it. Y'all got any questions, put it in the comment section. Y'all got any requests for certain types of content, hit me up. Hit me up, put it in the comment section, because we out here getting to it. All right, so any last remarks, questions, y'all let me know. And what y'all would like to see me cook outside. All right, Henry Pollard, all right, what's going on? All right, I appreciate you tuning in. Press that like button for sure. All right, make a rocket stove out of bricks and cinder blocks. All right, so the cinder block thing, I watched videos on YouTube about the cinder block thing, and the cinder block stuff, I seen those break down after a certain amount of times in use. Even after the first time somebody made a cinder block stove and it bust and broke down. So that's not a good way to do it. Maybe bricks, especially if you got fire bricks. Cost next to nothing, it works great. Biggest tip is make it tall enough you aren't cooking from your knees, feeding the stove and tending to the pot. Okay, all right, I mean, I heed that. I definitely heed that. It's just like I said, that cinder blocks are not the greatest thing to make a stove out of. You might get a couple uses out of it, 1, 2, 3, but they break down. They're not made for making fires in. You know, in a pinch, cool, but that's not it. Especially if they're wet. So don't try to make a fire in cinder block that was freshly wet or it rained outside. Don't do that, because that thing might break down. It might explode. It might crack on you and just, you know, don't do that. All right, not to take away from what you're saying, but yeah, no, cinder blocks is a no-go. Fire bricks, cool. Cinder blocks, no. But get ready to tune out. If y'all got any last questions or remarks, let me know. Again, this segment right here, this live today was about this firewood. You know, buying firewood. You can source it yourself. I paid $12.99 for this, and I bust down that same amount of wood in maybe like one or maybe about 2 logs, maybe 2 and a quarter, but essentially 2 logs. This is about 2 logs right here. This is 2 logs worth, and they're selling for $12.99. 2 logs like this. No, don't let them get you. Don't do that. 2 of these right here. They selling you 2 of these for $12.99. No, nope, we're not doing that. I got all this for free, for the free. Y'all see all that wood right there? I bust all that down. I chopped all that up. Got that Husqvarna right there. That Husqvarna 455 right there. You see right there? Yeah. I bust all that down with that right there, and we got more to come. Yep, we got a lot more to come right there. So much more. And we right next to my house. I'm not in the woods or none of that. Right next to my house. We got a lot of work to do. We got a lot of fuel that I got for the free. Yep. All right, so we're We're about to end this live right now. I'm about to go in the house. The wife cooked something good. I'm about to go in the house and eat. We're going to get back to it tomorrow. But I definitely, because I was at the grocery store, I definitely had to purchase this just so we can compare and show y'all. They selling people this for $12.99, selling people this for $6.99. I just showed you. I got a ton of that stuff from the job. And I got way more in the back. My trunk is full. And nah, for the free. I can show y'all too. I ain't got to keep telling y'all. Let me show y'all. We ain't here to just talk about it. We showing and proving. Like, look, I got a ton more in the trunk. Got a ton of this free stuff in the trunk. Got a ton more right here. And we got all this wood. We got all this wood to break down. All of that. Look at all this for the free. Look at all that. And we bust all this down so far. So far. These are the pieces right here. These are the ones that got all the knots and shit in it. And the awkward pieces. So I'm going to bust them separate. I started breaking some of that down. All right, so we got some cuts right there. And I'm going to start putting them on pallets. And I'm going to stack them and wrap them. Stack them and wrap them. And we got more over here. Bunch more firewood. Bunch more firewood. More firewood. And we getting to it. Look at all that. We getting to it. All this free wood. Yep. It's going from that to that. To heating my home for the free. I'm out here. Come on now. What we talking about? What we talking about? You an arborist? No, I'm not an arborist. I'm a regular dude. I'm a regular man that's willing to get to it, put that work in. I'm a regular guy. I'm not an arborist. You know? No, matter of fact, scratch that. I'm not regular. I'm doing more than the average person, so that makes me not regular. By definition, I'm not regular. I'm doing more than the average person. Getting to it, putting that work in. I put in maybe 9-10 hours at the job, and I come home and put that work in. Put that work in. I come home and put that extra work in because it's for the family. I'm doing the man's job of the house. This is what the man got to do. So we're getting back to, not for me, because the essence always been there. For some people, I'm trying to restore the essence of what the man's job is. You know, put food on the table, be resourceful. You know, like one of those sayings, put the women and children to bed and go looking for dinner. That type of feeling. That's what we're doing. All right. So we're getting ready to end this live. I just want to tap in, show y'all what I'm doing. And I was at the store, had to show y'all, like they charging the premium. Don't be, what do they call it? When they bump the price up, when stuff goes on, when they bump the price up, price gouge. Don't be price gouge. Don't be price gouge. Put that work in. Be prepared. You know, even if you start getting down to, all right, do we have a bug out bag? What if something happens? Do you have your essentials? Do you have water? Do you have food? Do you have your essentials? You know, can you make fire? Do you have communication? Do you have radio, satellite radio, all that good stuff? I'm gonna get into all that. I got all that stuff in the house. Call me doomsday prepper. Call me what you want. I'm gonna be ready. I got fruit trees. I could grow my own food. I could heat my own house. You know, I got a bunch of dry goods. We're gonna be good. We're gonna be good. I got protection. So you ain't coming to taking what I got, neither. I worked hard for what I got. You ain't coming to taking what I got at all. So I'm getting ready to tap out. I appreciate everybody for tuning into the live. All right. Enjoy your evening, brother. And everybody enjoy your evening too. All right. That's how it got to be. That's a real man life. Put that work in, for sure. Put that work in. And I'm out. Backyard Lumberjack. All right. Hit that subscribe button if y'all haven't already. I'll see you on the next one.